Winston Churchill once said, "If you are going through hell, keep going."
Winston Churchill's words cut through the noise of our despair with piercing simplicity. They remind us of a fundamental truth we often forget when the heat of life's trials becomes unbearable. The only way out of the fire is through it. So many of us, when faced with overwhelming pain, heartbreak, or failure, make the mistake of setting up camp in the very place that was meant to be a passageway. We stop. We look around at the flames, paralyzed by the heat, and we begin to believe that this temporary state of suffering is our permanent address. But listen closely today. Where you are right now is not where you are staying. You are in motion. The pain you feel is real, but it is not the destination. You may feel tired. You may feel like the road has disappeared beneath your feet, and you may feel that the silence of heaven is deafening. But your survival up to this exact moment is evidence that you are not finished. You have not been brought this far to be abandoned in the wilderness. The story is not over, and the author of your life has not put down the pen. Take a breath. Stand up inside your spirit. We are going to keep moving, not because we see the exit, but because we know who is walking beside us. When darkness covers, light remains. We need to talk about the silence. There is a specific kind of loneliness that settles in when the lights go out and the noise of the world fades away, leaving you alone with your thoughts and your fears. It is in these quiet, heavy moments that the enemy of your soul whispers his most effective lie, that you are alone. He tells you that your struggle is unique, that your mistakes are too great, and that God has finally turned his back in disappointment. But feelings are not facts. Your emotions are valid indicators of your distress, yet they are terrible compasses for truth. The reality of God's presence is not contingent upon your ability to feel him. The sun does not cease to exist simply because a cloud has blocked your view of it. In the same way, the presence of the Almighty is not diminished by the fog of your circumstances. Consider the weight you have been carrying. For many of you, the darkness isn't just about what is happening now. It is about the accumulated debris of yesterday. We drag the skeletons of our past failures into our present, and we project our anxieties onto the screen of tomorrow. This is why the wisdom of St. Augustine remains so profoundly healing centuries later. He advised us to trust the past to the mercy of God, the present to his love, and the future to his providence. Think about the freedom in that perspective. When you hold on to the past, replaying your failures and nurturing your regrets, you are trying to do a job that only God can do. You cannot fix yesterday. You cannot unsay those words or undo those actions. But God's mercy is a consuming fire that burns away the guilt and leaves only the lesson. Surrender that burden. And the future? That terrifying blank canvas that keeps you awake at night? That belongs to his providence. Providence means he sees beforehand and provides beforehand. He is already in your tomorrow, arranging the resources you will need for battles you haven't even faced yet. Your only responsibility is the present, this very moment, entrusted to his love. When you compartmentalize your life this way, the darkness loses its power to suffocate you because you realize you only have to carry the weight of right now, and even that weight he is helping you bear. We often beg God to change our circumstances, to instantly teleport us from the valley to the mountaintop. We want the helicopter rescue. We want the immediate miracle. But more often than not, God is not interested in simply changing your location. He is interested in transforming your character. He wants to walk with you through the geography of your pain. There is a profound courage found in the ancient words of the psalmist in Psalm 23:4. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Notice the phrasing. It does not say, I will fear no evil, because there is no evil. The evil is there. The danger is real. The shadows are long and terrifying. It does not say, I will fear no evil because I am strong enough to handle it. No, the lack of fear comes from a single, undeniable source, for you are with me. The shepherd has entered the valley. The creator of the universe has stepped into the mud and the mire of your situation. That phrase, darkest valley, in the original language refers to a deep shadow, a darkness so profound it feels like death itself. You might be in that shadow right now. You might feel the cold chill of uncertainty, but shadows, as frightening as they are, prove one thing. There is a light shining somewhere. You cannot have a shadow without a light source. The very fact that you are experiencing this shadow is proof that the light of the world is positioned somewhere above you, watching over you. His rod and his staff are not just decorations. They are tools of protection and direction. The rod to beat back the predators that seek to devour your hope, and the staff to gently pull you back when you wander too close to the edge of despair. This is the comfort of the believer. It is not a comfort that says everything is fine when it isn't. It is a gritty, resilient comfort that says, I am not alone in this mess. So do not let the darkness trick you into stopping. Do not let the silence convince you that you are an orphan. A teacher is often quietest during the test. The silence is not absence. It is attentive supervision. God is watching how you apply the lessons of faith you learned in the light. He is waiting to see if you will trust His character more than your eyes. You are building spiritual muscle right now that you could never gain in times of ease. You are becoming a person of depth. The shallow waters of comfort produce shallow faith, but the deep waters of struggle produce a trust that is unshakable. Keep walking, one step at a time. If you cannot run, walk. If you cannot walk, crawl. But do not sit down and accept defeat. The shepherd is walking beside you. His pace matches yours, and he knows the way out. The exit is there. The dawn is coming. You just have to keep moving through the night.
You are stronger than you think. We need to have an honest conversation about what it feels like to hit the wall. There is a moment in every significant struggle where your natural reserves simply run dry. You have used up your optimism, you have exhausted your strategies, and you have drained your emotional bank account down to zero. You look at the mountain in front of you, and then you look at the trembling in your own hands, and the math just doesn't add up. You calculate that you do not have enough strength left to take even one more step. It is a terrifying place to be, realizing that you are undeniably completely weak. But I want to tell you something that might sound contradictory to everything the world has taught you. This moment of absolute depletion is not the end of the road. It is the beginning of the real power. You have finally reached the end of yourself, which means you have finally arrived at the place where God can take over. We spend so much of our lives trying to be strong, trying to present a polished, unbreakable exterior to the world. We hide our cracks because we think they are liabilities. We apologize for our tears because we think they are signs of defeat. But the kingdom of God operates on a different physics than the world. In the economy of heaven, your brokenness is not a disqualifier. It is a prerequisite. There is a vacancy sign hanging over your weakness, and it is an invitation for the divine to move in. There is a profound promise that has held broken people together for 2,000 years, a promise given to a man who pleaded with God to remove a painful thorn from his life. He begged, he bargained, he asked for relief, just like you have asked for relief. And the answer he received was not the removal of the pain, but the provision of a power that transcends it. The scripture records this life-altering response in 2 Corinthians 12:9. But he said to me, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Let those words settle over you. My grace is sufficient. It means it is enough. It is not halfway enough. It is not almost enough. It is completely, entirely sufficient for the magnitude of your problem. But look deeper at the second half of that promise. My power is made perfect in weakness. This is the key that unlocks the prison of self-condemnation. God's power doesn't just tolerate your weakness. It requires it to reach its full maturity in your life. When you are strong, you are relying on your own limited battery power. But when you are weak, when you are at the end of your rope, you switch power sources. You plug into the infinite grid of the Almighty. So stop beating yourself up for feeling fragile. Stop despising your own humanity. That feeling of, I can't do this, is actually a prayer, because it is the moment you stop trying to be God and start letting God be God. You are a warrior, not because you never get hurt, and not because you never feel fear. You are a warrior because you are still here. A warrior is not someone who comes out of the battle with clean armor. A warrior is someone who stands up, leaning on their sword, bleeding and out of breath, but refusing to yield the ground. Your survival is your badge of honor. You have been praying for the load to get lighter. That is a natural prayer. We all pray it. But what if God is answering you, not by shrinking the mountain, but by strengthening your shoulders? What if He is building a capacity in you that you never knew existed? Strength is not born in the gym of easy living. It is forged in the fire of adversity. You are being tempered like steel. The heat is intense, and the hammering is painful, but you are becoming something that will not break under pressure. This brings us to a critical pivot point. Once you accept that God's grace is the fuel for your empty tank, you have a decision to make about your mindset. Grace is the resource, but your attitude is the valve that releases it. You cannot control the storm, you cannot control the waves, and you cannot control the wind, but you can control the set of your sails. There is a powerful insight from Zig Ziglar that perfectly encapsulates this choice. It's not what happens to you that determines how far you will go. It is how you handle what happens to you. Read that again in your spirit. It is not what happens to you. Life happens to everyone. Tragedy, betrayal, loss, delay. These are the rain that falls on the just and the unjust. If you wait for a life where nothing bad happens to you before you decide to be happy or successful, you will wait forever. The variable in the equation of your destiny is not the event, it is the response. The event is the stimulus. Your reaction is the destiny. How are you handling what is happening to you right now? Are you letting it define you, or are you letting it refine you? When you look in the mirror, do you see a victim of circumstance, or do you see a student of grace? The difference between a stumbling block and a stepping stone is simply how you use it. You can trip over your pain, or you can climb on top of it to see a new horizon. The choice is yours. This doesn't mean you have to fake a smile or pretend it doesn't hurt. It means you look the pain in the eye and say, you may be part of my story, but you are not the end of my story. It means you wake up in the morning, even when your heart is heavy, and you wash your face, you get dressed, and you show up for your life. That is how you handle it. You handle it with dignity. You handle it with the quiet confidence that if God brought you to it, He will bring you through it. You are stronger than you think. You are stronger than the voice in your head that tells you to quit. You are stronger than the label the world has tried to slap on you. That strength doesn't come from your muscles. It comes from your Maker. It is a supernatural resilience that defies logic. People will look at you and wonder how you are still smiling, how you are still kind, how you are still hopeful after everything you have been through. And you will know the secret. You will know that it isn't you holding it all together. It is the grace that is sufficient. It is the power made perfect in weakness. So, straighten your back, lift your chin. The enemy thought this struggle would break you, but he miscalculated. He didn't know that pressure creates diamonds. He didn't know that when you are pressed, you don't shatter, you shine. You are not a victim of your past. You are an architect of your future, co-creating with the God who loves you. Take the next step, not because it is easy, but because you are empowered. You can do this, not by your might, not by your power, but by His Spirit. Keep going. You are built for this.
Pressure creates diamonds. If we are honest with ourselves, most of us would choose a life of ease if given the option. We naturally gravitate toward comfort, stability, and predictability. We pray for smooth roads and sunny skies, believing that peace is found in the absence of conflict. Yet, if you look at the natural world and the history of the human spirit, you realize a startling truth. Nothing of great value is ever formed without immense pressure. We are currently living in a culture that teaches us to interpret pain as a sign that something is wrong, a signal to retreat or to numb ourselves. But what if the pressure you are feeling right now is not a sign that your life is falling apart, but rather a sign that your life is being put together in a way you cannot yet see? You are not being buried. You are being planted. You are not being crushed for the sake of destruction. You are being pressed for the sake of revelation. Consider the olive. To get the oil, the valuable, healing, nourishing essence, the olive must be crushed. It must go under the stone. There is no other way. The wine comes from the crushing of the grape. The diamond comes from the crushing weight of the earth upon carbon. If the olive or the grape or the carbon could speak, they would surely scream out in the midst of that process, begging for it to stop, pleading for relief from the weight. They would not understand that this agonizing compression is the very thing necessary to release their highest potential. You may be in that press right now. The weight of your circumstances feels unbearable, and the walls seem to be closing in on every side. You are tired of being strong, and you are tired of waiting. In these exact moments, when the squeeze is tightest and the night is darkest, the temptation to quit is overwhelming. You tell yourself that it isn't working, that God isn't listening, and that you have reached your limit. But there is a profound piece of wisdom from Harriet Beecher Stowe that speaks directly to this breaking point. She urged us, when you get into a tight place and everything goes against you, never give up then, for that is just the place and time that the tide will turn. This is a critical shift in perspective. The tight place is not the end of the line, it is the pivot point. Just before the tide turns, the current often feels the strongest against you. Just before the breakthrough, the opposition hits its peak. Stowe reminds us that the intensity of the struggle is actually a marker of proximity to the victory. If you give up now, you are walking away 5 minutes before the miracle happens. You are abandoning the process right before the product is finished. The pressure is not there to break your spine. It is there to break the shell that has been keeping your true potential locked away. God is using this season not to hurt you, but to enlarge you. He is expanding your capacity for compassion, for wisdom, and for glory. You cannot carry a heavy blessing with a weak character, so He is fortifying your spirit to handle what He is about to release into your life. We often view our lives in isolated snapshots. We look at the tragedy of Tuesday, the heartbreak of Wednesday, and the failure of Thursday, and we judge our entire existence by these fragmented, painful moments. We see the mess. We see the loose threads and the jagged edges, but we are not the weaver. We are the canvas. We lack the vantage point to see how these dark threads are being woven into a larger design. We see the pain. God sees the pattern. There is an anchor for the soul found in Scripture that changes how we process every single negative event in our lives. It is a promise that doesn't claim bad things won't happen, but it claims that bad things cannot win. It is found in Romans 8:28, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. In all things. Not just the good things, not just the pay raises, the weddings, and the victories. It includes the layoffs, the breakups, the sickness, and the grief. The text says, God works in these things for your good. It is the language of a master chemist or a master chef. If you took the individual ingredients of a cake, raw flour, baking powder, bitter cocoa, raw eggs, and tasted them separately, they would be unpleasant, perhaps even sickening. But when a master baker takes those same bitter and dry ingredients, mixes them in the right proportion, and submits them to the heat of the oven, the result is something magnificent. God is the master baker of your soul. He is taking the bitter herbs of your suffering, the dry dust of your waiting, and the raw grief of your loss, and He is mixing them with His grace and His timing. He is working all of it together for a good that you cannot yet taste. Do not judge the cake while it is still in the mixing bowl. Do not judge your life while it is still in the oven. The process is messy and the heat is high, but the result will be sweet. This means that nothing in your life is wasted. God is an economist of grace. He wastes nothing. Every tear you have cried is being watered into the soil of your future joy. Every person who walked out on you cleared space for the right people to walk in. Every door that slammed in your face steered you toward the one door that is destined to open. The pain is not pointless. It is purposeful. It is doing a work in you that comfort could never do. So, when you feel the pressure, don't run, stand firm, lean into the knowledge that you are being shaped by a loving hand. The chisel hurts, but the sculptor knows exactly what he is doing. He is chipping away everything that is not you, everything that is fear, everything that is pride, everything that is insecurity, until the masterpiece within you is revealed. You are being prepared for an extraordinary destiny, and extraordinary destinies require extraordinary preparation. Trust the process, trust the timing, and most of all, trust the one who is turning the tide. The pressure is proof that you are valuable, for no one takes the time to polish a pebble, but the master craftsman will spend a lifetime refining a diamond. You are that diamond. Stay in the press. Your time to shine is coming.
Step forward with unshakable faith. There comes a moment when you have to stop looking at the door that closed and start looking for the one that is about to open. We spend so much of our spiritual energy grieving what used to be. We mourn the relationships that ended, the opportunities that slipped through our fingers, and the versions of ourselves that we lost along the way. It is a natural human instinct to cling to the familiar, even when the familiar is painful. We replay our past mistakes like a broken record, analyzing every frame, wishing we could edit the script. But you cannot drive a car forward if you are staring constantly into the rearview mirror. The windshield is large, and the rearview mirror is small for a reason. Where you are going is infinitely more important than where you have been. The past has served its purpose. It has taught you, it has shaped you, and in some ways it has scarred you, but it is not your residence. You are a traveler passing through, and it is time to pack up your tent and turn your face toward the horizon. Fear of the future is often what keeps us frozen in the past. We stay in toxic situations or cling to dead dreams because the unknown feels like a threat. We ask, what if I fail again? What if it gets worse? What if I'm not enough? These questions are the shackles of the enemy. But we serve a God who exists outside of time, a God who has already walked into your future, prepared the room, and come back to guide you there. You do not need to know the whole map. You only need to know the guide. There is a declaration from the Creator that has echoed through generations to comfort anxious hearts, a promise that stands as a fortress against the fear of tomorrow. It is found in Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Listen to the specificity of that promise. I know the plans. You might not know them. Your friends might not understand them. The experts might tell you that your odds are zero. But God says, I know. There is an intimacy and a certainty in His voice that should settle your trembling spirit. He hasn't lost track of you. He hasn't been improvising your life day by day. He has a blueprint. And notice the nature of these plans. They are to prosper you, not to harm you. Now we must be careful here. Prosper in the eyes of God doesn't always mean a life without bumps or bruises. It doesn't guarantee that you will never face a storm, but it guarantees that the ultimate trajectory of your life under His hand is toward restoration, toward wholeness, and toward a future that is good. The harm you fear, the destruction of your soul, the waste of your life, is not God's agenda. His agenda is hope. If you are breathing today, it is because God's plan for you is still in motion. If the story ended in defeat, you wouldn't still be here. The fact that you are reading this is evidence that the future He promised is still waiting to be claimed. So, how do we move forward when we feel small and the obstacles look giants? We change our focus from the size of the mountain to the strength of our foundation. We often look for external validation to give us confidence. We check our bank accounts. We check our social status. We check the approval of others to see if we are ready. But true readiness is not external. It is internal. Ralph Waldo Emerson captured this spiritual reality brilliantly when he said, "What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us." What lies within you? If you are a believer, it is not just your own grit or willpower. It is the very Spirit of the living God. The same power that parted the Red Sea, the same power that rolled the stone away from the empty tomb, resides in the quiet center of your being. You are walking around with a nuclear reactor of grace inside your chest. The obstacles in front of you, the financial debt, the medical diagnosis, the broken marriage, are tiny matters compared to the magnitude of the God who lives within you. We tend to overestimate the world and underestimate the Spirit. We look at the problem and say, it's too big. God looks at the Spirit within you and says, you are more than a conqueror. When you grasp this truth, your posture changes. You stop begging life for mercy and you start commanding your morning. You stop acting like a victim of your history and start walking like an architect of your destiny. This is the call to action for your soul today. Step out. The water will not part until your feet touch the river. The provision often doesn't appear until you start the journey. You have been waiting for God to move, but perhaps God is waiting for you to move. He is waiting for you to take that first terrifying, wonderful step of faith. Do not let the shadows of yesterday darken the light of your tomorrow. Shake off the dust of self-pity. Forgive the people who hurt you, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to travel light. Unclench your fists from the past so your hands are open to receive the new thing God is doing. You are not damaged goods. You are a masterpiece in progress. The master artist is not finished with the canvas of your life. He is mixing new colors right now, colors of redemption, colors of unexpected joy, colors of peace that passes understanding. But you must hold still and trust the brush. You must trust that the dark background he painted in the last season was just to provide contrast for the brightness of his glory in this next season. Your best days are not behind you. They are ahead of you. This is not just positive thinking. This is a spiritual promise. The path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining ever brighter till the full light of day. That means your spiritual trajectory is upward. Keep walking, keep trusting, keep your eyes fixed on the author and finisher of your faith. He didn't bring you this far to leave you. He brought you this far to launch you. Life is not a sprint. It is a marathon filled with hills, valleys, and long stretches of flat, dusty roads. There will be days when you feel like you are flying, and there will be days when you feel like you are dragging heavy chains. That is the nature of the journey. But through it all, there is a constant that never changes, a north star that never dims. You are seen, you are known, you are loved with an everlasting love that no mistake can erase and no tragedy can sever. You have the scars of a survivor, but you also have the heart of a victor. As you close this chapter and step back into your world, take this truth with you. You are never walking alone. In the boardroom, in the bedroom, in the hospital room, in the quiet of your car, He is there. So, when the doubt creeps back in, when the night gets cold, and when the road feels too long, remember this moment. Remember that you have the permission to rest, but you do not have the permission to quit. The world needs the gift that only you can give. The world needs your story. Lift your head, dry your eyes. The finish line is glorious, and the one waiting for you there is cheering you on with every breath you take. Keep going, keep believing. God is with you.